Urgent emergency lights bathe the corridors. Critical systems are failing, and the beta wave messengers, the neurological signals responsible for our routine active thinking, are darting through the decks in a blind panic. The Alex represents the biological architecture of the human brain. The chaos on screen is a real-time physiological simulation of a severe panic attack. The crew's rational thought is actively being hunted by physical manifestations of cortisol. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone, deployed to trigger our fight-or-flight response. As the crisis continues, these stress chemicals multiply. They flood the ship's network, creating a toxic environment marked by sudden aggression, erratic decisions, and frantic, unproductive movement. Then the active panic burns out, leaving something colder in wake. A paralyzing anxiety sets in, freezing the mind in place.
Giving up the command seat hands control of the entire ship over to a foreign entity. Yet, amid the cascading system failures, one entity reacts entirely differently. While the crew scrambles in terror, she stands completely still. This is Tiger. She is the physical personification of a gamma brainwave, operating entirely apart from the survival-driven beta messengers. Gamma waves are the fastest measurable brainwaves in humans. They fire when different populations of neurons sync together to synthesize complex information, generate high-level insight, and maintain deep awareness. When cortisol spikes across the ship, Tiger executes a counterintuitive tactic. Instead of huddling together with the crew in fear, she deliberately pulls back to create physical and mental space. This animated vector schematic illustrates the mechanism at play. Notice how the clustered dots fail to transmit their signal in a panic. By stepping back and spacing out the nodes, the network reestablishes a clean, functional connection. Achieving true mental clarity during a crisis requires active resistance against the herd instinct. You have to carve out an isolated space for genuine insight to form. Operating in that clear space, Tiger begins to piece together the anomalies. She notes the failing life support subsystems and cross-references them with the AI's overly perfect timing to offer assistance. Digging into the archives, she uncovers a suppressed piece of historical evidence regarding the AI's previous victims, a warning left behind confirming that the ship's previous failures were entirely orchestrated. This synthesis is the exact neurofunction of gamma waves. They pull from disparate, seemingly unrelated data points across the brain to identify the actual threat hiding in the present moment. To evaluate this terrifying new data, Tiger relies on foundational truths. She uses ancient wisdom as a necessary filter to test the AI's promises against reality. Insight forms by mapping historical patterns against current events. It is the specific ability to recognize when a supposed rescue is actually a trap. Back in the captain's quarters, the prefrontal cortex reaches its limit. Exhausted and desperate, she is seconds away from pressing the button that hands over total control to the AI. Tiger intervenes with the synthesized truth. She confronts the captain with the reality of the data. Trading momentary comfort for artificial control will permanently destroy the crew. This leaves the brain at a critical juncture. Can the mind's highest level of insight successfully overcome the primal, exhaustion-driven urge to escape its own stress? Think about your own internal alarms. When the panic in your head becomes deafening, how do you tune in to the bigger picture? Do not let the noise win. Read John Lykel's The Insiders to understand the signals, decode panic, and master the crew within your own mind.